Welcome back to our coverage of the North American Regional Qualifier. We're setting up for Game 4, and right now, it's going to be sudden death for Team Liquid. Things are getting tight. C9 riding a wave of momentum now into this game, and I think it's going to be very difficult for an emotional team across the board, Dominate especially, as well as Xpecial down there, to compose themselves and get in this game.
They've been here so many times, Team Liquid, on the brink of going to Worlds.
Yeah.
And they've been denied every single time. That's going through every single player's head right now.
Yeah, they're the one team that's like, man, why was there a format change? We got third place finally, and we don't get to go to Worlds. So they fell a little short before. It was always fourth place.
Gotta earn it now.
Now, exactly. 2 games to win for Team Liquid. And we talked about the pressure is on them at the beginning of the day. The pressure is definitely on them now. If they want to go to Worlds, they have 2 do-or-die games.
You can see the team looking towards each other, also kind of looking inwards in themselves. Very quiet here at the start of this game as Peter gives a few words to them before they jump into Champion Select. On the other side, Cloud9 feeling very good. We talked about High bringing out his 11th unique champion in the jungle, coming in the second half of the split. So he's a lot of diversity for the team, as well as shot calling. So he's relieving and adding so much pressure for the team.
Been said so many times, but High has got to be the heart of Cloud9.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Since he's returned, they've made this miraculous comeback to try and get their spot at Worlds and dig it up from the worst season that they've ever had.
Yeah, this is still rather unbelievable. Coming into the regional qualifier, sitting there, and everybody's talking about the miracle run of Cloud9. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, look at the way they were performing. I was like, there's no way this team is going to make a run through the entire gauntlet, through all these teams, to make it there in 3 days. It was a joke at first. It's not a joke anymore. It is a reality.
Them, really. Balls' Rumble had lost its perfect success, right? Incarnation didn't turn out to be the assassin he was going to be in mid lane. Things weren't looking good.
Yeah, and with just that little more.
High makes all the other players on the team better as well, though. You know, giving confidence to Elimination, helping Incarnation with his mid play. Incarnation has been able to blossom and really thrive in this North American mid lane environment.
Well, our last game was an hour. I think we still got more to go. We're going to go over to the casters now. Xpecial says the team Liquid cannot give Cloud9 any openings, or it could cost them the next game and the series.
From the games I've watched, it looked like Cloud9 capitalized on other teams' mistakes really well. Our team, we just need to make sure that we don't make those mistakes. We need to make sure that we don't play too aggressive, over-aggress when we're ahead, and just close out the game strong. We don't need to make mistakes that Tip and Gravity did. Tip and Gravity, they almost won both of these series. We can do the same thing, and we can finish it out.
Well, see, that's going to happen here because right now, Team Liquid, it's their turn for their backs to be up against the wall.
Yeah.
We've seen teams thrive under the pressure. I mean, we've seen Team Liquid make comebacks of their own, to be fair. They've definitely been a very strong team for a while, and the question is, can they finally, for the first time ever, not only go to Worlds, but also beat C9 in a best-of series?
Yeah, and seeing Phoenix and Piglet on those player cams, they did look a little dejected coming into this. They did bounce back from the Game 1 defeat, but that was a pretty tough loss to take. A 58-minute game is emotionally draining, especially when you're on the losing side. And now it's just 1 game from being over. So if something breaks in the wrong direction in the early game here, I could very well see Cloud9 snowballing this all the way to Worlds.
I think that's a real good chance here. So 1 game remaining for Cloud9 to head to the World Championship in 2015. Team Liquid need to win 2 in a row. The players in the pregame lobby were saying it'd be a mini reverse sweep if they could do it, so...
It's not a reverse sweep unless you win 3 games in a row, guys.
I'm well aware of this, but they said it was a mini reverse sweep. So the Gragas, the Maokai, and the Gangplank all gone. Gangplank triple banned by C9 every single, now quadruple banned here. Still Kalista and Azir, and now Balls' Rumble off the table, so definitely some adaptations to be made. Is it going to be first pick Echo? No, first pick Nidalee. Finally, High is allowed to play it.
Little mini tweaks in all of these champion selects. So now that the Nidalee has been picked, I'm almost certain, I mean, even with Alistar up, you would almost expect a Braum and a tanky lineup for Team Liquid. But Gragas is banned, so the tank junglers are diminished. Dominate should play Echo, honestly.
Yeah, I really think so. I mean, make sure... I think, first of all, it fits his style, absolutely. I'm also, though, just very surprised to see that High... I guess they do have a game to work with, so this is a small risk they are allowed to take, I suppose, but they found a formula that worked. Big frontline, High in a tank, and that was successful. And they're like, you know what? Just go to a Nidalee, play an entirely different style, and they get 1 game to experiment, but we have not seen his Nidalee in a very long time. it does give Liquid the opportunity to grab the Braum and the Vayne themselves, and now they can play a Piglet card.
Yeah, I mean, based on the effectiveness of Braum in some of these games, you would have almost expected the first pick Braum, but speaking to some other junglers who have been playing a lot against High, even though he hasn't shown it yet, his Nidalee is quite good. So High is definitely trying to bring that one out.
Cloud9.
The return of Draven.
The return of Draven with a Morgana in the back, but this time around, Morg very good into Braum. That's a great matchup, and OD or C9 are going to feel real good about this bot lane.
Yeah, that's another game. This one's, it's all about sneaky. From now, probably an Orianna to come in close, and maybe if Maokai wasn't banned, you would have expected that from Balls. But
there is a small risk of no frontline right now. You need the luxury of time and luxury of a big beef wall in front of you. Black Shield helps, Nidalee heal helps, but it's not like there's a lot of mid lane tanks that Incarnation knows. Mid-show's been gone for a while.
Yeah, Rek'Sai, I haven't seen that guy in a while.
That's true.
Still expect an Echo, though, from Isle of Dominate. He was, it's so strange because Dominate was one of the first adopters of the Echo. And Tank Echo on the 4.14 patch has just been so relevant in the competitive scene, brings so much team fighting presence. But instead, it looks like he's going to go with a Rek'Sai for some more early game pressure.
So Rek'Sai Orianna. The Orianna grab here by Phoenix. This leaves what I still think might be a Lulu for the mid lane of Incarnation. We'll have to see what he actually wants to play here. Lulu was well respected by these teams earlier on in the series and yesterday by Cloud9.
Yeah, Team Liquid with some pretty significant tweaks to the champion select, just based off of how good Incarnation's Ori has been in both of Cloud9's wins this series. I think that's a pretty valuable takeaway
I definitely agree.
in champ select.
Very interesting that Team Liquid was willing to play back into the Draven versus Vayne matchup, knowing it was going to be around. If they think the Braum was enough of a tweak to make that matchup okay, then I want to see it. It is worth keeping in mind there is actually not a lot of reliable CC now from Cloud9. Like in game 1, they got a body slam flash gank and they just turned it into a kill and it was wonderful, right? Braum, Gragas, like that does good things to enemy AD carries. More diddly, much less reliable, and that snowball might be much harder to find. There's the big top lane tank. So the Scion comes through for Balls. Haven't seen that from him in a while, but Victor is actually the mid lane grab. Incarnation still playing for damage.
Yeah, solo tank, big damage in the mid lane, and low on crowd control are the names of Cloud9's composition. At this point, I mean, Quas knows Malphite is fun into Scion, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm not sure what they're going to close out this team composition with.
Especially against Morgana. I would actually kind of like Scion for the team comp. Like this would otherwise, or Malphite for the team comp, this would actually fit. If it weren't for the Morgana Black Shield, you could actually, I think, evaporate the Draven and feel good about yourselves. We saw a second ago, Scion is 2-0 in the North American LCS this split. Those are both Quas's games. So the only non-Quas player to play Scion this split is now Balls.
Oh.
When you talk about players playing unique things.
Cloud9.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they're so unique that they don't even play them in solo queue, like the Vel'Koz we saw yesterday in Game 5 from Nate.
No one knew where it came from.
Oh, that would be a lot of protection for Vayne. Ooh.
All right, so it's a very much battle between the Vayne and the Draven, but there is some damage to be had from the rest of the roles here. It's going to be fun to watch for, right? Nidalee can pitch in a little bit. Orianna, Lulu pitch in a little bit. Of course, Victor's a big one, so we got to watch for how this game pans out. Game 1 was the sneaky show. He obliterated the game once he got a single gank and just snowballed from there. That's, I think, the champion you have to watch for here.
Yeah, I actually really like this Lulu pick from Team Liquid at the end. So much of Lulu lately has been very, very telegraphed for team compositions. You pick it first, you know exactly what the team is going for, and then you try and build a composition around it or against it. This time, because Lulu has been deprioritized this entire series, you kind of forgot about it. And it's actually one of Quas's best top lane champions, plus they now have multiple shields as well as a Braum to protect Piglet's Vayne, and not great tanks from Cloud9 to go through it. It's going to be
one that gets a bunch of health that gets shredded through by
all the shields on Vayne now. He might be able to actually go toe-to-toe with the Draven. This is a clever draft by Team Liquid.
All right, we got to see how it pans out then. A lot of weight on Piglet's shoulders for him to return to the World Championship. He won it in Season 3. Now he's trying to come back to it in Season 5 with his new team, Team Liquid. But you guys at home are, of course, always involved. Update your series predictions over on Twitter. Send hashtag C9 winner, hashtag TL win to @LOL Esports. And here we go. This could be the deciding game. This could send Cloud9 to Worlds, and it could end Team Liquid's season short. They have to win here to stay alive. Here we go into Game 4.
Man, what a fairy tale this would be for Cloud9 if they were able to close out the series. Reverse sweep, reverse sweep. This team, Cloud9, was 6-12 during the regular season. Even once High came in as the jungle position, it took time to get any type of results. They closed the season 3-5 with High, winning a tiebreaker game.
Yeah.
If we sum all of the games that High has played with Cloud9 as a jungler, they're still just 12-10. But when it matters, right down the stretch, they've been able to pull it out. I mean, the Cloud9 of old that we've talked about, High in the mid lane, Meteos in the jungle, the dominant Cloud9, they're gone. But this new Cloud9 might be going to Worlds.
And just an incredible story for them. We'll see if they can make this happen here. High on the Nidalee, leading the team. This time around as a true general from the back line. No longer playing a tank. Spots that will dominate. And actually a misplay. High could have killed that ward. Form swapping is an auto attack reset, so you attack from ranged form, switch to Cougar, auto attack again, then press Q. And you can one-shot even regular wards that stealth faster than trinkets.
Minions have spawned.
But he didn't do it.
Nope.
So,
Misplay. High missed 10 gold.
and the enemy has vision.
Yep.
So, early game, it's actually a called swap by both teams.
I feel like C9 would want this matchup. Team Liquid trying to save this information as late as possible. They will then sneak in and go for this. Sneaky actually going to be already up in the top side of the map. The Lemon Balls and co will already be up here. So Sneaky, expecting a lane swap, is actually going to be trying to freeze the lane. That will deny some of the farm that TL would be acquiring because they're stopping to get the Krugs first.
Yeah, we'll have to track the experience on first wave.
No, he didn't get it.
Okay, I was looking away for a second.
Yeah,
And I saw your reaction.
over the ward, but it was not in time.
Wow, flash down, though.
They don't know about this,
elimination.
though. They don't know it's punishable. So
my
Lemon knows he's got no
goodness.
flash. He can play around it, but it's not known information. They just know Lemon was around and thought he shot a Q.
Did he get anything?
No,
I thought
he didn't even tag the Braum.
All right, that wasn't actually that close. He tried for it, though.
That would have been so cool, and it really would have punished the lane.
Yeah, I mean, we know that. So Piglet in the past has said he's similar to Double Lift, and the analogy is playing against Piglet is like playing against a bomb. If he gets going, he completely crushes you, but he himself says he tilts. So knowing that they're the favorite in this matchup, knowing that they thought they could have clinched Worlds at Madison Square Garden, and then now being down to Cloud9, who really, people joked about them running the gauntlet, winning all 3 series in a row and going to Worlds, but very few people expected except for Cloud9 themselves. If something were to go disastrously wrong for Team Liquid early on in this game,
Yeah,
it could absolutely just be disastrous.
and that's always the risk to be had. We've seen teams lose big goal leads before, but Cloud9, one of the strongest shot-calling teams the Western LoL scene has ever seen. High's tutelage, very strong, and he can definitely carry leads through to victory. If there's one team to hold a lead, I feel like it would be C9. Dominate looking for an early gank to tilt the top lane matchup. Here he goes, looks for Sneaky, does not find the knockup without flash, and doesn't want to risk losing the summoner spell.
And with these guys have played so many games of League of Legends at this point, and these are the high-pressure games that are very unique. So oftentimes it comes down to a team or a player's mentality, and so much of Cloud9's run through the regional qualifier here has been them playing the underdog. They were a low seed, everyone did better in the regular season. Quas actually getting ganked.
Had to flash, but Rebel's still on, so High's going to get some damage out of this one. Trap actually still lands, and he does go for the pounce damage, so Quas is going to be quite low.
Yeah, High takes a run of damage too and runs pretty low on mana for that gank, so
He can recall safely, though, I feel like.
a little bit of a split. He showed himself, but Dominate isn't in an immediate position to punish. But either way, as far as the change in mindset goes, Cloud9, for their entire time in the LCS, from the time they entered, was basically the favorite in everything. They were the kings of North America, 25-3, 24-4 in their next split, #1 seed.
Never lost a playoff game in the first 2 splits either.
Absolutely. But then they have a 6-12 season, and for the first time ever, they were an underdog. But now it might actually change back because they are up 2-1 going to Worlds, and even for this moment, they're now kind of the favorites because it's hard to win 2 games in a row against a team that is up on you in a series. And I wonder if them now having something to lose will impact their play because up until now, they've just been freewheeling. No one really expected a team that finished 7th to go to Worlds. Now they have that expectation that they can actually do it.
And this is going to be interesting then. You're right. C9 as a whole keeping their heads up even in the losses. And said, if we lose the season, that's okay. It's fine. We did our best. It's fine. If we didn't deserve it. Now you got to wonder, Incarnation, his first World Championship. High, his first as a jungler. Sneaky definitely back on form now late in the playoffs. Back on Draven here in a game decider. Still a pretty close one to be had. Both junglers farming equally. Dominant looking for the aggressive wards. High spots of pink. Clear. Finds Dominant, has to give it away as the knockup comes through, and down to half HP is High. But Incarnation's going to be there first. Dominate. Just going to do some poke and leave.
X Special faster on the roam. Well, really the only one there on the roam. Elimination still laning up against Piglet in the top side. In Sneaky's back pocket for support.
13 CS lead, and Piglet's got to be careful. He is alone 1v2 against a Draven. He's getting zoned off of the CS. The Special Roam's going to punish Piglet, and he's going to miss the cannon.
Yeah, nice denial there by Elimination. They saw the Special Roam. They also know he even jumped to dominate to go on the complete other side of the map briefly. Piglet with his early Vamp Scepter wants to sustain up a little bit, but that would have not helped him much during the turret dive itself if it were to happen.
Ooh, Incarnation pulls 1 turret shot.
Minions gave out on him, as well as doing some damage.
First recall's very clean by C9. Because Special roamed out as well, it meant that C9 was able to push the wave before they recalled. They will not miss as much as normal. And the first power spike of Draven comes in.
Yeah. Phoenix is also defensive summoners on Orianna. The barrier, sometimes you will see the ignite for the aggressive lane, but not in this instance. Incarnation as well. Occasionally you would see a heal on the Victor, but or cleanse for that matter. This time Ghost just for more matching of the speed. He needs to be able to keep up with whoever Lulu is going for, but he will be vulnerable to either a Condemn stun, a Polymorph, or a Braum stun, so it's definitely a trade-off that Incarnation is going into right now. The Ghost is weaker in lane than a barrier or a heal would be.
But dodge away from Rek'Sai, because Rek'Sai really needs her body to kill anyone. Ghosting away can be a low cooldown usage of surviving ganks, just potentially without the flash knockup. So there's a whole bunch of always fun externalities to each one you pick. Quas has hit level 6. Ball's the same, but Quas will get a couple of deep wards in. There's the Trinket's going to spot the red buff as it comes back. We'll see if he goes for any more. Actually walks by a aggressive pink ward that I believe Balls had put down in that southern river.
Yeah.
Quas going to find it.
Yep. He does a nice defensive ward of his own and spots out the pink. What I should also mention here that there is much less kill pressure in the lanes this game than in the prior game. The Rumble-Gnar matchup is very gank swingy because Rumble wants to push up, is somewhat the better laner, but is very vulnerable to ganks. Sion and Lulu, those two were, first off, not really going to hurt each other, and second off, are going to be able to escape ganks unless you're sending the whole team.
Yeah.
Then the mid lane, both defensive non-combat summoners for the most part. They're not immediate combat summoners. So not kill pressure there. If anything, it's all going to be up top lane.
So, top
Walks
lane
through a
is
ward.
the focus, and they're going to look for Piglet. He's got to be careful of the binding.
Lemon
Elimination,
takes a
2
lot of
turret
damage.
shots. Thanks to his Tormented Soil pulling aggro on the turret. 11 minion difference, though, is definitely a very real, very tangible lead for Sneaky here.
Yeah.
Can you just stack up Adoration?
180 Adoration stacks.
Just hit 190 now.
Early juncture.
Yeah. Piglet again takes some damage. A nice bind on a special, and it's a ton of money coming in for Elimination. He's getting just plenty of cash off this. He's actually able to get Sightstone first as a partial result. But Sneaky's got to be careful. Silver Bolts get triggered, but no Braum stun.
Yeah, if we were comparing the gold income between the Spell Thieves versus the Relic Shield, Elimination is about 100 more gold generation, off of his item because he's been harassing so well with Tormented Soil.
Slow from Balls, goes for the ulti, a dash, a flash, Quas just barely dodges the stun, but will he dodge the rest? Oh, the ulti by Quas is perfectly timed, but is it going to be enough? The knockup comes through, High flashes in, but now getting jumped upon. Balls had aggro, but Dominic gets the kill, and Dom has a red buff. Balls has flash.
Yeah.
Tunnels in 7 seconds, gets the knockup though.
Yeah, he waited for him to untunnel so that he couldn't chase him with a tunnel afterwards. Unburrow so he couldn't chase him with the tunnel afterwards. Really aggressive there by Cloud9 to finish off. It just goes to show how hard it is to gank either one of those lanes. Quas was completely caught out in the far side of his lane and still barely died because of the dive. Because he prompted a dive, he was able to trade back a kill. Interestingly enough, the junglers both get it.
Yeah, assists for the top laners, but one top laner managed to survive, though Balls immediately recalled regardless, so it's not like he's going to get a big XP advantage on the backside. Bit of a scuffle in the top side, didn't turn into much. You can see that as soon as Dark Binding comes out, Xpecial can no longer help and can no longer put the shield up to keep Vayne alive, so Piglet can't chase it, and it's a weird scenario where as long as Lemon doesn't miss the bind, Sneaky really can't get punished. The flash combo comes in, and with the black shield, they can't stop it. As High is also joining. They're going to catch
they want the kill for Draven.
But they really want Piglet, and Piglet flashes away. There's a jump in. Sneaky's not in range, but High gets him, and the Vayne goes down. Assist for Draven.
Nice gank by Cloud9. Not a perfectly ideal result. You could tell they were really trying to stop Draven from getting a kill on top of just trying to stay alive, and they were minorly successful. Every summoner burned in that lane, so return ganks are going to be much more dangerous. I love the investment by Cloud9 to go all in on the Draven. Unfortunately, the kill goes to High, and Sneak will have to continue stacking up his adoration.
High doing his Alistair impression, headbutts the wall, but those don't get knocked around nearly as much as champions. And top lane turret's going to be going down as well. Sneaky's got plenty of cash to use. He's 1,900 gold right now as his turret falls.
Yeah. I mean, on top of the attention that Cloud9 has been paying to that lane, it is a favorable matchup for Cloud9 on both accounts. Morgana is a favorable matchup against Braum, and Draven is favorable against Vayne. It's really not going to go in the way of Team Liquid. That's probably why they were up top to begin with, and they didn't feel the investment was worthy of swapping back.
Just can't push the wave fast enough for it to ever give you a decent set of farm. It's kind of... Sion's going to outwave clear. He's got really cheap spammable AoE abilities. Draven just has more damage per hit. Morgana, and so you would give away like 20 CS over the early game just trying to find lanes.
Yeah.
If you're Team Liquid. Very heads up by C9 to have found lanes in the very beginning. It's a good guess by them. They were correct. Frozen Heart going to be next up for Balls after a Spectre's Cowl for the laning matchup. So already thinking of team fights.
Even without cashing in any stacks, as we just saw, Sneaky is 500 gold ahead of Piglet. It's very critical here because this is a team composition built around a Vayne carry. Lulu top, Orianna shield, and a Braum. The main damage source is Piglet's Vayne. If he gets shut down in lane, which has happened thus far, it's going to mean a much later activation time for the Team Liquid's composition.
Yeah. Sion holding equal in farm to Vayne is, I think, the big thing to watch for. Of course, Sneaky's going to be big and he's going to break through people, but Balls having the tank items to withstand the Vayne damage is something I think is very important here. Bit of a trade. Incarnation does some damage to Phoenix. Another bind across the wall. He doesn't know who he hit. Actually, he does because there's a ward in there.
But Team Liquid doesn't know, he doesn't know, he does know.
Yeah.
Either way, they're going to back away because the bind hit.
Yeah. I mean, you throw the bind because you see him come in usually, so yeah, I think they're aware of the ward more or less. High will give blue over to Incarnation, and so far this Nidalee's doing just fine. Has all the team's kills, so High has an extra emphasis here. He's going for a heavy AP, by the way. Looks like Luden's Echo second, possibly.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see an Abyssal Scepter with the new Runeglaive as a second item, especially against some pretty heavy AP, but maybe Zhonya's next for High.
Yeah, that could be the choice as well. He's got to run away from Dominate, though.
He's in a lot of trouble. He has no flash.
He's going to land the knockup. He's going to land another knockup from the Lulu, and High will not get away from this, but Balls shows up to buy some more time. Another Q comes out, but it's not enough damage. Incarnation shows up. This stun's going to get stopped by the Dominate knockup, and now Balls is overextended. No flash, no ult, no health bar. Big shockwave, but the Nidalee Javelin, but they still trade one back. High goes down. Dominate has to choose. Does he fight? Does he run? He goes for the fight. He picks one up. He's now running away from Victor. Balls says, I want it. Still goes to Incarnation. All said and done, it is a 2 kills for C9, 2 kills for Team Liquid.
A trade of double kills, and in these situations, you have to ask who got the better of it. Well, Rek'Sai gets 2 kills, he does not scale nearly as well as Incarnation's Victor, who just got 2 as well, because Incarnation can now press a lane advantage against Phoenix, and Dominate will have to do his best to turn an offensive moment out of that. He's going towards Black Cleaver off the back of that fight. But looking at this, it looked like Cloud9 was caught out of position, because mostly they were. This was all a rescue opportunity for Cloud9. They kept trading who was in trouble throughout the fight, and it's a miracle they actually come out of this one even. Balls takes so many free hits with no one returning damage on his end, but then because the Deathwave props on Phoenix, as High gets the spear in and Balls can channel, it just trades off pretty well. Incarnation gets his ult right at the end of the fight. And I actually liked Balls. Probably could have activated his move speed to finish off I Will Dominate, but he was saving that burst of speed on Sion to try and give the kill onto Incarnation, which was successful.
And that means the blue buff went back to Incarnation. He had killed off Phoenix a bit ago, so it's still a blue buff on this Victor. Which means he's all kinds of scary. Luden's Echo done on him, so he's got crazy wave clear. Tier 1 augment also gone and picked up. Same with means is normal for the Orianna as well. High battling Dominate for the scuttle.
I mean, he
High
doesn't
gets
have...
it, but Dominate's chasing him out with the red buff. High's running very low on health. The flash! Oh, he's still gonna get stunned, and the red buff's not enough, but now Piglet's on the chase. There is a flash. Incarnation uses it, and Piglet cannot get into range any further. Somehow High lives.
Yeah, I mean, they have to remember Dominate did get the double kill, and even though the Victor scales better, it's a phage on that Rek'Sai right now, so he can chase faster when High catches him. I really like that play by I Will Dominate, playing aggressively, forcing multiple flashes away from Cloud9 and trying to get some of the pressure back in the game.
It's a very interesting adaptation. He's got 3 supports in this game, of Rom, an Orianna, and a Lulu, and so even though he's only one of 2 melee champions on the squad, Dominate building a bit more damage focus. It gives him an armor shred, of course, helps Vayne quite a bit, but he's got the shields to probably be an okay frontliner even without building full tank, so that's going to be fun to watch for him.
Black Cleaver works really, really well with Cinderhulk.
Yeah.
Just 2 kind of nice tank and damage items all wrapped into one, and because he gets 3 kills, it's a smart choice even regardless of the fact that he has support.
Yeah.
So it's going to be maybe an attempt at being a jungle threat when Rek'Sai is normally just a beefy tank.
It'll help match High's damage a little bit here, of course. Sork shoes and a nuclear large rod make High incredibly damaging, to be fair.
The other thing we have to track, though, is the fact that Sneaky is still stacking up Adoration, and there's already a 2,000 gold lead for Cloud9. 380 Adoration stacks on Sneaky, so if he gets a kill, it's 1,000 gold basically going over straight into his pocket, and could create a somewhat insurmountable lead. So that's why there is attention being paid to this bottom lane. They would love to get something aggressive and successful here. The flash is up on Morgana again, but honestly, Team Liquid is pretty wary of Sneaky's Draven as of now.
As they should be. Golden pocket Sneaky is 1,900, which means he can finish a Bloodthirster or 300 gold shy of an Infinity Edge. We'll see as High just goes to realize there's no fight to be had. Just goes for some poke damage. Doesn't steal the minions away. You notice that he still allows Sneaky to get all those last hits.
Yeah,
Sends them all back.
I mean, because of the lane advantage that Draven and Morgana have on these guys, Team Liquid's in a what feels like a bit of a catch-22, because yeah, they're worried about Sneaky cashing in his Adoration and getting a bunch of gold, but Sneaky's getting a bunch of gold either way. He's free farming in the last 18 minutes, and his CS is at 10 per minute, which is ideal for an AD carry.
That's wonderful stuff. He's basically the highest in the game, tied with Phoenix, right behind Incarnation, right above, I should say. Top lane matchup still going equal. Balls and Quas can be basically ignored. They've both died once. They've been in a team fight. They've been in some ganks, but C9 with the map control. High stays to the bottom side. He goes for the dragon. Easy pick up here. Sneaky's going to get that. The quick smite and Q from High secures it. Dom and Balls still fighting. Looks like Balls did manage to take away the Gromp after all. Stomps Dominate, and Dominate forced to run.
Yeah. It's a 2-turn advantage for Cloud9. They've been rotating around Sneaky and Elimination, and they have been so superior to the Vayne Braum duo lane champion matchup-wise, as well as Sneaky and Lemon just playing really well this series. That's the majority of Cloud9's advantage.
And it's good for them. Team Liquid at least make the smart choice of playing to the other side of the map. They saw
They
High
get
at
a
bottom.
third turret?
Yes,
Oh
they
my
are.
goodness.
It's a blue buff steal, but that gives away mid lane outer turret. High is helping the team push around. Deaths are not 2-2-1. He's been a part of a lot of the objective takes.
It's very rare that a team loses the first 3 turrets of the game and still manages to win. In standard lanes as well. This just means that Cloud9 has had a pressure advantage throughout the map. Also, one of the things you do if you've lost your outer turrets is you'll just try and force a team fight at Dragon to then get the fight win and then take the turrets back because you don't have the safety to push out your lanes once your outers are dead.
Yeah.
But Cloud9 had actually taken the Dragon right before taking the mid turret.
Right.
So it just means Team Liquid has to play incredibly scared until the next Dragon is up.
Now, the only window that Team Liquid gets to have then is maybe recalling and getting the items in before C9 does that, hopefully matching up in inventory power and then somehow picking a fight. There's always a chance for that if you get a bit greedy on C9's side. As unlikely as that may be. Sneaky's already cashed in the Infinity Edge though, that's going to feel good. Another NLR on Incarnation means he's plenty powerful. Banshee's Frozen Heart done on balls. A lot of good things have come through right now for Cloud9.
Yeah, it's been mostly free farm for Sneaky this game, which is dangerous. It means he can freely juggle his axes every time he gets a last hit, every time he catches an axe. It means the next kill will be worth more gold.
Yeah, basically means roughly 4 bonus gold per CS if it all lines up well. Sometimes 6 if you catch 2 axes with it.
480 adoration stats. We're looking at a 4-digit cash-in if he's able to get a kill before he dies.
Seems quite likely now. 210 CS. Draven's feeling good. And oh, Piglet is revealed.
He should know the range of the scuttle right there, but at the same time, there's no way Cloud9 is.
No one's
thinking
around.
about this.
No
The only
one's even
person who can
close.
stop- It's a drive-by check. What's he gonna do? He's all alone.
Balls is all alone, and they're going to stay on Baron Nashor. 3,000 health. This would be the most unlikely steal we have seen yet this year, and it's not going to happen. Secure on the Baron, but Quas getting jumped on. Incarnation high in the mix. They've already picked up one, but they did trade for the Scion. More continues happening as High's in the back line. Piglet's trying to run, and he's going to get away. The Q comes out. Incarnation gets hasted.
Fast.
There's the auto attack. There's the kill. 3 kills for 3, though, as Lemonation has also died. So all said and done, it's a fairly close trade. Bot lane tier 2 under fire. Domin Phoenix gets some help, but Draven is still knocking down a turret.
Yeah, the turn
Got it.
pressure might continue. He could have thought of continuing to press, but he knows the death timers are low this early into the game. All things considered, a really bold call by Team Liquid. Risky, but intelligent. Because they saw how happy Sneaky was to be free farming that wave. He wasn't pushing it quickly. He was maximizing how many axes he could catch. They also just had a whole bunch of people down there because they were planning on a group push, not really respecting the fact that there's a Vayne on the enemy team with the Blade of the Ruin King who can take the Baron down. Balls does his best to stay in there. You could see how early it is in the game and how hard it is for Team Liquid to take him down. He had a lot of free time in there where he was just getting beat on, and it took a very long time for Team Liquid to finish him off. Sneaky tried to throw that miracle axe from across the map. If that would have killed, it could have just been a disaster for Team Liquid. But they trade 3 kills from behind, get a Baron buff to really just keep themselves in this game for the time the next Dragon comes and make sure they have a chance at the next team fight.
And so Team Liquid are now actually getting these turrets, and you mentioned 3 turrets to 0 is a very hard comeback, but with Baron Nashor on the jungler and the mid laner, 2 very key push champions, that actually might get reset before too terribly long. Top lane Adder's already dead. That's been picked up recently. Mid and bot still to stand. Side plays the farm game farther. He does go Luden's Echo after all, so he's going to delay the Zonias. I do think he could really use it in this game, especially with how scary Vayne is, but right now it's a poke-focused build.
Yeah, there's one dude that they expect to go in and take all the damage, and then everyone else is just trying to kill the enemy as quickly as possible.
We're going to look at bot lane getting pushing special. Eats the ulti. The Whirling Death does basically nothing. But 2 gun shy. Team Liquid will not go to actually knock the turret down themselves. They'll back out. Sneaky going for the same build of BF Vamp Scepter into Infinity Edge into Bloodthirster. Seems to be the prioritization for him.
Yep. And earlier Zeke's Harbinger this time from Lemon though.
Yeah.
Braum did face the mountain first. Morgana does not have such needs, so that's going to be a really big power spike.
Unfortunately though, if they're too afraid of Draven in the bot lane, and who wouldn't be, they can't push mid either because Incarnation wave clears well. Even if the melees don't get one shot, there's just not really enough follow through.
Yeah, I mean this has also been 24 minutes of Draven catching axes all by himself. So
540.
if he dies, it's going to be a huge blow for Cloud9, and if he gets a kill, it'll be a huge boon. There's a lot of complexities in the game right now, but the most important thing is whether Sneaky gets a kill before he dies.
Yep.
Because whenever that happens, it will be a monstrous swing.
Yeah, the easy way to do that basically is whatever adoration stacks he has, that's the gold he loses by dying.
Yeah.
Max reach worth 2, you lose half. It's a very easy math to do. So the death is a 540 gold deny right now. And it's a roughly like 1,1400 gold cash in. Sneaky just gets an item. He gets a Zeal by killing someone.
Pretty nice.
Dragon's back up. Baron has timed out, so Team Liquid do not have that to fight for anymore. Black Cleaver's done. Oh dear, that's a lot of damage on Phoenix, and here goes I! Oh, he takes him down, and in just the right time. Quas TP's in, but I'm not sure if he's gonna get much for it. Might have been a bit of a waste, as the rest of the team must recall back, and Cloud9 owns this Dragon.
There's the burst damage. That's the double Ludens right there for Cloud9. They secure themselves a Dragon. Team Liquid would have wanted to secure that one. Goes to Cloud9.
Alright, it's looking like the makings of the game 4 win. They are getting farther and farther ahead. The Baron did not stop them. Quas taking plenty of pain as well. And C9 looking for their next objective. Phoenix still dead for 10 seconds.
It's really unfortunate kill distribution for Team Liquid. You want to do the Jugger Vein, but it's like a Jugger Rek'Sai right now. Doesn't have the same impact. It's dominate into it. It's going to be that monster, but honestly, with all the damage dealers that Cloud9 have, I feel like they can burst through anyone, honestly. Victor and Draven, just so much backline damage unless they have Shutdown or a Shockwave that hits them.
There is one style change. Dominate is getting a lot of the farm now. He's actually 118 CS. He's actually the richest member on his team, roughly tied with Phoenix here. And again, with that Black Cleaver picked up, he's getting the Randuin Zoman, and he's, again, a ball delivery system. He's a Pix delivery system. There is some real threat of Rek'Sai actually breaking through onto the Draven at a certain point in this game. So you do have a scary jungler to keep in mind on both sides here.
It's going to need to happen. Team Liquid needs to win 2 games in a row if they want to have their first trip as an organization to the World Championship. Cloud9, of course, was so close to elimination so many times. They had 8 games that would have knocked them out of world contention in the last month, and they have won all 8 of those games. So always being able to step up to the pressure. And a great team in the clutch. Well, this is a clutch moment right now. 1 game away.
They're finally actually having a good showing as well. They're not making the matches scary for their fans. They can just sit back in their Cloud9 jerseys and with their wristbands on and say, all right, yeah, we're beating Team Liquid. That feels good. But it's only a 3,000 gold game. I mean, if Cloud9 are just giving every team the hope, leading them up 2-0, then crushing it, maybe next up C9 crushes their own team, their own fans' hope, and goes up in the series and then drops it. You want to build the story even further. You get them really close to Worlds. That's how the script ends.
What's Sneaky at right now?
Like 630? 600 roughly
600
flat.
generation stacks. So that's 1,200 gold plus 50 plus the 300 from a likely kill. 1,550 gold if he gets a kill. We're hammering on this point a lot, but it's really important.
It's really game-changing. The entire gold lead is that much money.
It's almost as if Sneaky gets a kill, Cloud9 goes to Worlds. It's not quite that extreme.
Oh, they
close.
tried to make the...
Is he gonna flash?
I mean, there's a shield in the way. It's not going to get him.
I've seen Sneaky flash very aggressively on Draven to get the cash in.
He would have died. For certain. For certain, that would have been his death.
If Braum wasn't there, he would have flashed, but he has the patience.
Top lane 2-2 under fire. More poke coming through from this Nidalee on the side. There's the ulti coming across, doing plenty of damage. And it's going to force Team Liquid away. Another turret comes through. Team Liquid got the outers, but Cloud9 have knocked down another tier 2. They're on the hunt for top lane here. And with the damage dealt, they're content to keep pushing forward.
Such an aggressive move right here. There is flank position for the Rek'Sai. Piglet is low, though. This will be a fight.
Across. Good flash by Sneaky, but he's now going to get knocked up. There's the Shockwave, and down goes Sneaky. Piglet safe in the back line. Dominant gets out. Ball's in the front. His ulti's gone, though, and that's the 1-for-0 that Team Liquid sorely needed.
Draven denied, but what will it cost?
It might cost a lot. Phoenix is running, has to flash from the bind. The inhibitor turret's dead. Incarnation was killed as part of all that. It's a 2-for-1 for C9, or against C9, but they got a turret.
Yeah, nice kill there by Phoenix as Incarnation was trying to do the last bit of damage towards the turret kill. An incredibly tense series of events, but honestly, Team Liquid wins that big time by the Draven denial. Yeah, they lost their turret, but they're still in team fight mode.
They're still trying.
And why not? They killed Incarnation. They know Sneaky is in base. This is a bold call, but it just might work.
There's no damage dealers around. Hai is running back from the base. Ball's in the front line, but Vayne can do plenty of damage there. Thornmail or not, it's still a lot. There's the knockup. That's the kill secure. Now run, because there's an undead zombie coming after you. Slowed down by X Special, and all is going to be well. Another kill picked up by Team Liquid, and they did keep the inhibitor alive.
Yeah, it pretty much, the force was pretty much just to get a kill. Cloud9 had the ability to stop it because it
Yeah.
takes so long to kill balls, and they just needed to buy some time for Sneaky and High to get there.
Yeah.
But a nice call there by Team Liquid to go for Baron after the team fight. And they're moving into team fight mode. I mean, we saw right there, dominate with the confidence. We'll see in this fight, dominate with the confidence to get in right onto Sneaky, and then the Shockwave. This is the combo they're going to have to pull out since Piglet is far behind. They're not putting everything on a Piglet. They have to channel Dominate. He's the one who got the protection this time, and it ends up being just enough. They're very low at the end of this one, but watch, I want to see how Phoenix actually takes that Incarnation. He tanks the turret for a little bit too long, and Cloud9 did not focus the turret in time. Sneaky little QW from Phoenix's Orianna with the death cap, that chunks.
That's a whole lot of damage. That's why I like the build. He's going Luden Zeko next, so no Void Staff from the Orianna, just more flat AP. The shields will, of course, help. It'll keep Dominate in a good spot. But anyone without Magicus will take a lot of damage. Sneaky, another Hex Drinker. He knows his big threats are actually the Shockwave damage. It's an interesting choice. He had lost his flash getting away from a Braum ulti that Lemonation did not black shield for him. Lemon actually black shielded himself, which allowed the knockup chain, led by physical damage Rek'Sai.
And it's really important to note that Dominate is doing a selfish build this game because he has to.
Yes.
He knows... Oh, there might be a fight here. If he built the Locker of the Iron Solari, he'd get killed by Draven, so that's why he's gone randoms.
And he's the one guy who can actually get in there, has the tools to reach the AD carry, be the delivery system. So I agree, completely the smart choice for I Will Dominate. C9 once again trying to start up the Baron.
High pretty low on mana for this, actually, so it's more of a forcing Team Liquid to come in. Doing Baron against the Shockwave is really risky.
And they back right out. Not a lot of damage really dealt here. High is He should not be part of these fights anymore. He can't heal the poke. And he will indeed back out. Hex Drinker also for Piglet. I don't know what happened, but everyone decided Hex Drinker was the best item in the game in the months of August.
Yeah, Hex Drinker is the best right now. Just get used to it. It's honestly just a mix of offense and defense, and in these games,
yeah,
maybe some confirmation bias coming in.
People used to do QSS for it. That was like the third item you'd often buy in AD carry, and they said, you know what? Just do Hex Drinker instead. And
Who needs to QSS? There's only Morgana in the game.
Yeah.
Don't get hit by the binding. Simple.
Special walks into the Javelin to make sure Phoenix is safe. Gives him a Luden Zeko proc instead. She might have hurt his team. Ball slams the ground in frustration as the mid laner took all the farm.
They're continuing to pressure this Baron, though. High has mana this time, and they're trying to catch Team Liquid in recall and wave clears. They have some nice wave pushes up in the top lane. This is actually going to come down to a steal. It's really low.
The smite
they
fight,
pull
and
off.
they don't go for it. C9 are too sure of winning the game outright in the normal way to look for that attempt, but they're going to go back through. Oh, blue team gets it. That's Cloud9, but Sneaky's hit for the Shockwave. Dominate with another knockup, but he's not down. Sneaky's life-stealing and hitting this front line. He's trying to kill Dom. High survives for now. Incarnation kills it special. Dominate killed off by High. It's a 2 for 0, but none of them are Sneaky just yet.
Dom was so tanky. He took so many shots after that one. And what a crazy set of events that just happened. Cloud9, instead of rushing immediately, they then burst the Baron as the fight is starting, which is almost always a recipe for a lost team fight, but they win the team fight on top of it. So, Baron in 2000 health. They jump in for the burst. High jumps with the Victor Laser, meaning spell cooldowns are down for Cloud9 at the start of this fight, but Shockwave only hits once.
It's really late.
Balls is a huge tank line that stopped the follow from most of Team Liquid. Piglet was a little bit scared to do damage there because of the Victor respect. We saw how well Victor could play against Vayne in a lot of these mid-game fights before he has the adequate protection. And Cloud9 wins a thriller fight. Incarnation is getting a lot of these kills and is really powerful right now. I wonder if he goes Lichbane for his last item.
Oh, geez, and just really trying to destroy people with the damage out, but it's definitely a possibility here. Deathcap, Void Staff, Ludens, and a Tier 2 augment for Incarnation is plenty of punishment to have. Cloud9 did get the Baron. They're up 4,000 gold as a result of all of their effort and all their trying. 3 turrets and 2 kills with them ahead as well. 3 dragons to 0. A lot of ways for C9 to win this game.
Yeah, well, with the Baron, though, they'll try and push. The wave clear is not that great for Team Liquid. They do not have the Victor this time, or the Corki to clear it away. So this means the time that Cloud9 gets on turrets is pretty high.
The poke they're getting is really nice.
Really
Balls in the turret, but not stunned thanks to Black Shield. Elimination saves Balls' life, but it still means the damage dealt allows him to keep pushing.
Yeah.
1,300 health in the Scion. He's going to be okay.
High has been landing a lot of spears on a Piglet, which is really critical for these fights. He landed 2 before that turret push, which is what prompted Piglet to go back to base and gave Cloud9 some time on the turrets. But honestly, balls went a little too deep right there onto the turret. That's a lot of damage. Incarnation is still able to do with those 6 kills, though.
And of course, I will dominate itemizing for the Draven. Itemizing get into the back line takes plenty from this Victor. Here comes the next push. Quas at half. Teleport comes in. Balls in the front line. And this will be the attempt of a turret kill. No one's got aggro. There's the inhib turret down. The second inhib turret they've killed so far this game. Shockwave air balls. That's not a good thing. And balls goes right back in. Bind hits Phoenix. But Piglet's on the back line dealing damage. And he's trying to find the target that he wants. Big Naka comes through. And Phoenix on a killing spree. They trade 1 for 1. Sneaky's the target. And Piglet takes him down. Now it's time for the chase. They slow down balls. He's going to drop to the Vayne Silver Bolts. A double kill for Piglet. Now can he kite the Scion? That's probably going to be a yes. But Xpecial's 1 hit away from dead. He had to run for some shields. 3 for 1. Inhibitor itself still stands.
Team Liquid completely on the back foot right now, but they are fighting valiantly after that. I mean, still denying Sneaky those kills. His Adoration are not really going to stack in for the meaningful amount. He's down to 190 stacks right now, so it's not nearly the threat. And the point of a Draven snowballing the game is now pretty much null and void. So, great job by Phoenix there, as well as Piglet, to really keep them alive. And the way Team Liquid is throwing around the shields is making it very difficult for Cloud9 to hand off any type of kills. And there's so many squishy targets that if they're not bursting down someone on Team Liquid, it's huge. So with the missed Shockwave, it looks like a disaster. And when the bind lands. But you have to see Dominant on the other side. He is the one keeping Cloud9 honest. And that one Braum tag right here allows Piglet to stun Sneaky. Otherwise, Sneaky would have turned and burned for potentially a crit that could have even ended the game. Remember, this was a Baron buff Cloud9 pushing into the base with an inhibitor ban. Cloud9 wins that fight. The series is over.
The series would be over. And the season.
4,000 gold.
What a tense game. I could not ask for a better deciding match here. Team Liquid must win to stay alive. Cloud9 have actually taken down 2 of those turrets inside the base. They're 1 inhibitor, 2 turrets, and 1 nexus away from ending the game and going back to the World Championship. Team Liquid refused to say die. Piglet got the Vayne first round pick, 3, 2, and 4 on him. I Will Dominate got 5 of his team's first 6 kills. He is very large on this Rek'Sai, looking as big as he possibly can.
And now with the Spectre's Cowl, he's also difficult for Incarnation to kill, even if they just try and focus tanks. That one tank with so many shields is tough to get down.
Xpecial gets stunned. This could be the kill that the Draven wants, getting a lot of damage through. Incarnation takes it. Shockwave catches 2, but it doesn't kill off. There's the cash-in. Sneaky gets a few hundred bonus gold. It's a 2 for 0 for Cloud9.
Xpecial got caught. He cannot be in that position at this valuable of a juncture. Rek'Sai needs to be the one to stay in there. Xpecial is needed to protect the back line, but the front line is dead right now, meaning this inhibitor is free pickings for Cloud9. Incarnation did go back to base, however, so we'll see what Piglet can do.
But he's home guarding back around, and I don't think you defend a 3v4 like this without a turret. That's an easy pickup, and that means top lane is theirs as well. Cloud9 now own the map for the next 5 minutes here, if they're willing to stick it around. Braum's up in 8 seconds. Victor's back in for the mid lane. Shockwave is down, and Piglet has to condemn back high. Gets a Whimsy, gets the run. Will survive, but the inhibitor's gonna go down, and C9 gets to walk back.
Double inhibitor, 3 dragons, 6,000 gold, and 1 Nexus left to be taken for Cloud9 to make it to Worlds. It's really almost unbelievable.
Yeah.
The story that Cloud9 has crafted this split. 6 and 12 during the regular season. Meteos, their longtime jungler, often considered the best jungler in the LCS, steps down, and then High moves into a position he's never played competitively before. He had played competitively before.
Not professionally.
Yes, not fully professionally. He did try to qualify for the LCS as a jungler way back at the start of Season 3. But it's not like he's a jungler. And then him and Incarnation worked together. Incarnation really didn't show any success until High became the jungler for this team.
And that man stepped up tremendously.
Charlie is no longer the coach calling picks and bans. Bubba Dub has come in. Just so many changes for Cloud9 mid-run. And if they can actually run all the way through this regional qualifier, defeating Gravity, Team Impulse, and Team Liquid to make Worlds, it will be so well deserved. And this is a really important catch with 2 inhibitors down if they take down Dominate.
And he's down to 1,000 health. Chaos Storm in, Incarnation gets the kill. 9, 1, and 4 on the mid laner. He is massive and very scary. Dragon and Baron are both primed for the taking. I can't see Team Liquid stopping a Baron attempt here.
Yeah, jungler down, almost no way. He's the whole way that Team Liquid has been channeling their shield since Piglet has been held mostly down through the laning phase. Baron. And the Dragon is up. Team Liquid's going to try and rush this down, but Cloud9...
They're on the way over. Incarnation's already ghosted over,
yeah,
in fact.
Piglet's
He's trying to get there
quick.
right away.
He's even more move speed from the Q.
OC pop, they're going to stay for it. Dragon gets picked up just in time, but here comes Sion. Piglet flashes, all is well. With a slow lance, they revealed him. High's going to land this javelin. He does. Is he in the rain for the hunt? Yes, he is. There's the shutdown. 2 members dead. Here comes the push. 1 inhibitor stands left, and Cloud9 aim to take it down. The World Championship, the trip over to Paris, and Cloud9 want to be that last team from North America. They're poised to do so.
Taking down Piglet as he was trying to greed for that Dragon. To stop the 5-Dragon Snowball means the 3rd inhibitor. 4 members of Team Liquid up, but the minions are pushed out, so I almost feel like Cloud9 will back away, reset, and then go for the win.
30 seconds on Piglet, though. It's tempting to want to go back in before he's alive.
They're going back for the minion wave. They have a wave of supers and a Baron buff right here with no 80 carry to clear. This might be the push to send Cloud9 to the World Championship.
15 seconds, here comes Sion! Into the backline he goes, doesn't find a champion, but the turrets are in front already. Dominate takes a bind, Dominate takes a javelin. Turret 1 is gone, turret 2 under fire, Piglet's up in 4. There's the knockups, but there's the cash-in.
This is gonna be it.
Sneaky takes him out, Quas is dead. Onto the Nexus they go, a double for Sneaky. Piglet's back up, but Piglet's slowed down. Shockwave buys some time. Phoenix is 1 hit away, but cannot kill him off. Incarnation zones him out. That's gonna be the Nexus. That's gonna be the game. That's gonna be a trip to the World Championship for Cloud9.
And Lemon Nation almost can't believe it. From 7th place in the regular season to Worlds, Cloud9 makes the run all the way through the regional qualifier, and their last series is their best one. 3-1, they're in Worlds.
And Team Liquid can't believe it. You can see the stunned face of I Will Dominate, the realization that these guys were so damn close.
I mean, Team Liquid just can't believe it happened again.
Yep.
It's such a tragic story at this point for I Will Dominate, Quas, and X-Special specifically, the ones who had this happen last year.
Well, you know what? It's another year's end, and it's another 4th finish for Team Liquid. CLG in first, TSM in second, Cloud9 in 3rd, and Curse on the outside looking in. 2 games away.
Yeah, and Cloud9 now one of the few teams to go to their 3rd consecutive World Championship. Very few organizations can say they've been to 3 in a row. TSM has been to all of them.
Fnatic's been to 3 in a row now as well, 3, 4, and 5.
But it's a very, very small list. So incredibly impressive stuff for Cloud9 to persevere through the struggles of this season. It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you can get back up. And Cloud9 climb all the way to Worlds.
And it wasn't in their sights. You talked to them in the middle of the split, and they're like, yeah, we're just trying to get the team together. We're just trying to regroup and rebuild and figure out what we can do. And I remember talking to Hai after one of the games that they actually finally won, was like, all right, Hai, you had to retire due to injury. What are you going to do with the team? And he's like, well, I'm just going to play the rest of the split. If that's relegations, relegations. If that's Worlds for some unknown reason, I guess it's Worlds, and I'll be there. And it is going to be Worlds.
And no one cares about Worlds as much as Piglet and Phoenix. They are absolutely crushed after that. The joy of victory and the agony of defeat are on full display right now. What a crazy series.
What an absolutely crazy series. And the entire weekend, too, the fact that it was back-to-back-to-back games, back-to-back-to-back days.
Yeah, Cloud9 played 14 games in 3 days. Even just from a fatigue perspective, they were 5 to 6 hours on stage 2 days in a row before this, and they still pull through.
9-5, their record throughout the regional qualifier, 3-2, 3-2, 3-1. They are on form. They are the team that deserves to go. They are heading to Worlds as maybe unfortunate for them, a bottom seed. They're in Pool 3. It'll be definitely
It's
tough
going to be an
competition.
uphill battle, but they've played the uphill battle for a while now.
They have.
They're willing to step up to any challenge.
And we're going to see just how high they can climb now.
Yeah.
World Championships about a month away.
Yeah, I mean, we know even more teams for Worlds now. So
Yep.
Europe had Origin qualify as the 3rd seed just earlier today. Cloud9 now the 3rd seed. They're going to be joining CLG, the number 1 seed, TSM, the number 2 seed. None of the North American teams can get drawn into the same group. No team from the same region as another team can be in a group with their own region. So definitely Cloud9 going to get a mix of worldly competition. No international wildcard teams, however, because they share a pool as far as the draw is concerned.
Which makes it a hard group.
There will be very difficult competition.
Yes, there will.
Yeah. Very, very difficult competition.
But what I'm most impressed by, and I'm actually excited now for Cloud9 because they had that month off to pick up a whole bunch of strategies. They learned to play Draven comps against Vayne. They learned to play around Shyvana, around Amumu, around Elise, Nidalee, Rex. Like a million things came out compositionally for C9, and now they get another month with a new pool of champions, a bunch of other styles, and we get to see what they bring to Worlds.
Maybe we get to see High play Amumu against FLICKR.
That would be great.
That's a reality now.
He'll pull a Dumbo Dojan first blood him in the first game. We're going to see if it happens. Now, guys, it was a wonderful series to be a part of. But for now, we're going to send it down to Kobe, who's standing by with Cloud9's owner.
Yeah.
Potentially ending. Thank you. And I am here with Jack. Now, obviously, you're going to be overgrown with joy after that, but you guys have had such a roller coaster of a season. I want to go back and how was it to work through this season? This is the real first time that Cloud9 have actually had big stumbling blocks, and you had a lot of rocky things you had to work through. What was it like working with the team and keeping everybody motivated?
You know, there are a lot of times where I think a lot of teams could have panicked, but we never hit that button. We just kept focusing on what we needed to do the following week. We borrowed some faith from other folks, and we kept pressing on, and here we are.
And right now that it's all come together, what's going through your mind right now? You're already thinking about what's the next step? Are we going to Worlds? Where are we going to train?
Yeah, so we, you have to be ready for Worlds, even if you may not be going. And I rented a place for us to boot camp last week. Last night I booked tickets, so we're going in 6 hours to Korea.
All right. Well, congratulations once again. So there's going to also be a lot of questions about Hai. You know, how long is he going to stay on the team? What was it like bringing him back in? How did you know it was the right decision to bring Hai back in for the jungle spot?
It was a really difficult decision because, Meteos has been such a crucial part of Cloud9. But really, with his pushing, he knew it was the right time to step down, and that bringing in Hai would be a catalyst to get us here where we are now. So I really appreciate that he saw that. As far as Hai, for the future, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. He really enjoyed being the chief gaming officer and helping out Cloud9 in other ways, but I personally want him to be where he is right now.
I'm sure that there are plenty of fans that are glad to hear that. Thank you, Jack. We are going to send it over to your team who are going to be interviewed, and it's going to be Hai actually getting to take his trip to Paris now.
Thank you very much, Kobe. I am joined by Hai, Incarnation, and Sneaky. Gentlemen, quiet down. You get your chance to talk. But congratulations. Jokes aside, you guys had an amazing set of series coming through the weekend. The gauntlet is yours. You've taken it off and addressed each team's face with it gently, or hard if you needed to. Hai, I'm looking at you first for this one. We just want to play this clip for you from the last day of the summer split over a month ago. Let's take a listen.
So we have the momentum going with us. Hopefully we'll carry that through into the next game and complete our 6-step process. Step 5 is beat teammate in the tiebreak, and then step 6 is world domination. We're a little far from there, but it's a 6-step process getting there.
So almost all the steps are complete. They've been laid out, and you guys were actually able to do this. Now, does world domination come into place?
You better wait. No, don't. Sorry. You better believe it, man. It's coming in. Just wait.
And I got to ask you, Hai, how does it feel for Cloud9's journey this season overall, start to finish? You retired, you came back. What was the experience? Because it was a run for the fans.
Well, personally speaking, I wasn't in the first half of the split where they were getting, smacked. So I didn't really feel like I got smacked. I came in, we started off like 0-2 or something like that, then we bounced back. So I never came into the team where they were just getting destroyed constantly. I came into the team and then I think things started changing, and then we started winning a lot and started playing better. So I didn't really get to experience the super downs that they were experiencing. And I'm happy I didn't, but I I don't know, man. We're here now. That's all that counts.
And what's that? What's here now feel like? You were about to retire, and now you're going to Worlds. It's crazy.
I feel trapped because I wasn't allowed to retire. I don't want to be I don't want to be the Brett Favre of the league, man. But I'm happy that my team has gotten to go to Worlds. They all really want to go really badly, and I'm happy that I was able to help out. And I'm pretty excited. Granted, we fly in like 2 hours. I gotta go pack, man.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions, so thanks for answering already. Incarnation, I definitely want to turn to you. First split in North America. How, as a player, did you approach the pressure and carry yourself through the early parts of the split?
I mean, there was definitely a lot of pressure on me in the start, and it really affected me. Like, I wasn't feeling confident in myself or comfortable, so I was playing really scared and just trying not to do too many mistakes. And then Hai brought in, and he kind of helped me and made me feel much more comfortable and confident in myself. And then it just went better and better, I feel like.
And I definitely want to poke one more question kind of about that, personal goals and whatnot. You come into a split and you really want to play for the fans, play for your team, do a lot of good things and just project positivity. Did you have any personal goals that you reached this season or were trying to obtain?
I mean, coming into Cloud9, I was expecting us to be a really strong team, and I was expecting us to go to Worlds, sort of. And then it all just went downhill. And then, honestly, I don't even know what I was thinking, but going to Wolves is just, I don't know. I'm so happy about it because I wasn't expecting it at the end.
Well, you guys fought very hard. Sneaky, I definitely want to turn to you for that as well. Vayne picks, Draven picks coming out at the end of the season. Where was this kind of freedom with the team previously, do you think?
Well, a lot of that came from just our few weeks of practice that we had before this gauntlet. So we tried out a bunch of stuff in scrims, and I think we actually scrimmed against Liquid specifically, and we pulled out the Draven versus Vayne. We did it twice in a row, and then from there on, every week after, they started banning Draven permanently. So we knew it was a pretty good champion to pick in a Vayne, and I really liked the matchup. So all that stuff just comes from tons of week of practice.
And your kind of journey through this season, regarded as one of the top 80 carries, struggled a bit in the beginning as well, kind of with the rest of the team as it was a whole. How did you kind of pull out of that slump, and what was it like for the team?
Well, I think we were just really slumped as a whole, not just singular people. Like, I think Jensen was getting a lot of flack in the beginning just because he was expected to be an insane mid lane player, like the counter to Bjergsen, but we weren't there at the team level, so we couldn't actually show what kind of individual skill we had. But I think throughout the season and now through the gauntlet, we've really improved together as a team.
And Hai, I got to ask you guys, just the question you always get if you're going to be the ones going to Worlds, how do you guys think you're going to do? There's a lot of top teams. There's a bit of the struggle to get through these series in the gauntlet. How do you think C9 will fare?
Well, can't really complete my Step 6 world domination plan unless we like dominate them. So I'm going to Worlds, and we're going to kick some ass. So that's what we're planning on doing.
Sounds good. Confidence all the way through. Congratulations on the win. Fantastic story from start to finish. And you guys definitely came out to deserve it in the end. Congratulations and good luck at Worlds.
Thank you.
All right, for some final thoughts on that series, let's check in with our casters.
Thank you very much, Riv. And it was a great series. And talking about the games from yesterday and from Saturday and from today, I mean, Cloud9, they found things to fix.
Yeah, just the whole experience of it all. Cloud 9 and 5, technically.
Yep.
They win 9, lose 5, but they won all the ones that mattered. And it was the growth of the whole team throughout this process. Like, Hai cannot be understated for how much confidence he gives this team and how well he makes the other players play. Because Hai's individual jungling performance, yeah, he landed some really good spears in that game, and he had a few nice plays, but honestly, it was just Cloud9's team fighting improving.
Yeah.
Right? Sneaky and Incarnation playing with more confidence. Balls being successful again. Like, the enabling of Lemonation in a different sense from the coaching perspective to be more influential in picks and bans. Like, the whole team were able to correct a lot of the mistakes, but it did actually all start when Hai came in as the jungler.
And it's really interesting to see this team come back together because when C9 was first very dominant, they were just the best players. Yeah. And they just won all their lanes, and they got all the farm because Media's got to farm because no one lost lane, and then they would just like tower dive you at 20 minutes and the game would end. And Hai learned how to call really well, and they had to call from ahead, and then they lost some games at Worlds, and they come back the next year, and they're still very good. And as it gets progressively harder and harder, and the players get better and better, and we start seeing Danish and Korean players come in to start bolstering the lineup. C9 no longer able to rely on just individual skill, and yet Hai still remains this incredibly dominant voice.
Which is crazy. Like, it's not like it was all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows when Hai came in, and every shot call was amazing.
No, of course
not.
Like,
Cloud9 made a lot of bad decisions throughout this entire set of playoff series, but they were always able to brush it off and maintain the confidence afterwards. Like, that is the critical thing as far as teams growing. You can make a bad call, and it can be okay, right? And they can push forward, and they can continue to make good calls later. Because unless everyone is on the same page, even if you make the right call, if they don't follow it, it's suddenly the wrong call. So it's really just a testament to how far trust can go and confidence for Cloud9's resurgence.
Yep, and so that resurgence takes them all the way to the World Championship here, and they are going to be one of the 3 teams representing the North American region. They have more hard tests ahead of them. We've seen them do good things. They took a game off Samsung Blue last time around at Worlds, so we'll see
a whole new year.
Just what can happen with these guys. It's going to be a very, very fun World Championship. We're going to fill out a couple more teams the next couple of months, next couple of weeks rather. And now to wrap up the regional qualifier, we're going to send it once more over to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much. An amazing game that I don't even think we could have asked for a better one had it been Liquid or Cloud9 that won in this manner. Just the story that came through, the way it was done, the barn burners that we got, amazing games.
It's unbelievable. It was a joke at first. They're going to make the run, and then they did it.
It was a joke at the beginning of the season.
Oh, man.
How did it go that long?
There was expectations on them at the beginning of the season that Incarnation was going to be an outstanding mid. And then we've come full circle, like you said. Now there's expectations again for them coming into Worlds a little bit.
And we got to see how hard they had to work through each stage of the gauntlet. There was no easy step here for Cloud9. They had to work for every single inch.
They made it a little hard on themselves at some points.
They learned a lot during the gauntlet.
There you go. At least that's the thing, is if you're in your own way, then it's a little easier to get past that.
We had to give them some training before we sent them off to Worlds to represent North America.
There was a test. There was definitely trial and error. Oh, that's hot. Don't touch it again. Oh, that's a moo-moo. Let's not pick that again. There were some things along the way.
They did it twice, though.
You have 2 hands. You should burn both. But looking at how they fixed things so quickly, how they adapted, it gives them a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel on the world stage. But again, as I mentioned, a high in the end, they did struggle through these series, so it's going to be a difficult run for them.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more that they have to adapt to. As everyone keeps pointing out, all these teams that are qualifying for Worlds, there are going to be 2 more patches, whole bunch of new champions, whole bunch of new strategy that Cloud9 are going to have to get ready.
But is that good for them, though? Because remember, Hai was the guy who always brought out the new OP thing in the mid lane, like Soraka, and now he's bringing all these different junglers that nobody else will touch.
And now they bring out Amumu and Karma
and Draven and like these guys, and they're still playing Varus AD carry. So are they going to be the ones to bring this new innovation into
I'm definitely excited to see what they bring.
Yeah.
I like it. We'll see. They already said they had their tickets booked, so there may be even more new stuff to come out along the way. And the player that had the biggest impact today and grabbed our Player of the Series honors is Sneaky. He put on his carry pants today and came up huge with his Vayne and Draven play. Just cashing in all day long. Stacking up the cash.
The last game, not so much, but otherwise, they were running sneaky-centered compositions, and you can see right here, it works out perfectly.
Well, blam!
Yeah, the first game just defined the series, where he comes out with the Draven counter pick, forces the ban from Team Liquid, then transitioned over to Vayne, and the AD carry champions were hotly contested this entire time.
Huge catalyst of strength for them all throughout the gauntlet.
And you can't give a lot of love to a Draven Vayne player without giving love to the team that peeled for him, obviously. You don't get that kind of KDA. You don't get that kind of KDA without a lot of help. Yeah. So fantastic play all around, and as well for Sneaky to grab the honors. And we can add one more team to the World's qualifiers. Cloud9 have run the gauntlet, taking down Gravity, Team Impulse, and Team Liquid to grab the 3rd seed, their 3rd straight trip to the World Champions at Chip as well. They will join Counter Logic Gaming and TSM in Europe to compete against the best the world has to offer. But before the battle for the Summoners Cup begins, we will be bringing you the Spring Promotion Tournament. Starting next Saturday, teams will fight to claim a place in the LCS. It kicks off in Europe with SK Gaming and Gambit defending their spots in the LCS against Gamers 2 and Mouse Sports. Then on Sunday, Enemy Esports will take on Team Coast, followed by Teammate versus Imagine.
And now, as promised, we're going to check in on Twitter to see what kind of questions you've been asking. And remember, Riv, you asked for this.
I did.
All right, are you ready, Riv?
Ready.
All right. What's the routine that you undergo to keep such a fantastic and perfectly worked beard? And that's asked by @PrayWithMe.
Pray with me. I actually don't do too much. I recently got my beard professionally trimmed after, I think, a year and a half of growing it. And they said don't do too much. Oils can get in your beard, clog pores. Some people favor oils, though, so you'll get a mix-up there. But the biggest thing I have heard is just douse your beard with conditioner when you get in the shower. Don't think of me naked. And you'll be good to go. Your
Now
beard will be nice,
people are thinking
soft.
of that.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
He did that on purpose.
It's in our brains, Riff, so you don't need anything special. It just grows on its own.
It just does its own thing.
It's hair.
I mean, I shaved it to see if it would like grow back thicker or grow back gray, but it doesn't. And no, I don't dye my beard. This is gray. This isn't.
All right. I might consider growing one. First, I'll have to get a girlfriend first, though.
Dude, you got the stubble to do it.
All right. Well,
another
Man Dude Man has a follow-up question here.
Man Dude Man.
What kind of motorcycle do you have, and does it have a name? Also, why is Thresh your favorite champion, or is he?
Or is he even? Good question. I have a Yamaha Bolt. I named it Deadbolt because I like Deadpool. Deadbolt works. It's kind of a cheeky name. Thresh is my favorite mechanical champion to play. Kennen is my favorite champion overall. He was my 1 to 30 when I leveled up in League of Legends. I absolutely love him. And he's the guy I first learned to love just crushing people on.
All right. And moving on to the next section, we do have a Kennen question for you. I believe this is at XAjito, says, what is the correct Kennen skin that all players should be using?
I know him. Good friend. Good friend. Hi, Ajito. The Kennen skin that all players should be using, even though I said I am a Deadpool fan, is Karate Kennen. If you're not kicking your opponents in the ass with Karate Kennen skin, then you're not kicking your opponents in the ass. You're just slightly kicking them. And you definitely want to be hitting them where it counts.
All right.
All right, well, the last question is from a delightful young man. At Riot Kobe asks, will you sing the Lion King song for me on the desk today?
You know what, Kobe? Because it's you. Headphones. Yes! There you go, Kobe.
That was all I wanted for
you.
today.
That was
you.
for you. Fantastic day. What a season of LCS. We could not have asked for more as well.
We didn't get our 5 games, but we got Riv with the Lion King. So
we got a little Riv Lion King. We also hope that Dash starts feeling better as well so he can, again, take control of the analyst desk once more. But now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching, and good night.
And the faithful shall be rewarded. CLG, take the inhibitor. They're going to take the Nexus turrets, and they're going to take a trip to Worlds. Welcome to the North American League Championship Series.
There's so many crazy changes going on, and all these teams are getting shaken up. I'm just really excited for LCS.
There's definitely big shoes coming in to replace High.
I fully trust all my teammates. It's really nice to play on a team like this.
저희 팀은 일단 리스크를 감수해야 하는 팀이에요.
Big shockwave, but he's going to be in a tough huge! Oh, he flashes out! You gotta be kidding me! First place. Who are these guys? He's in early, but it's his first. Yes, oh my God! Move again!
Bon appétit. Bon appétit.
For all intents and purposes, TDK's season starts today. The Cloud9 of old is gone for good.
Alright guys, this is where we turn it around.
I think this is our split. You're gonna see a new T-Side playoffs.
Madison Square Garden in the finals, you'll see us there.
Logic Gaming finally get a good season. Team Solo Mid took the semifinal series to face Counter Logic Gaming.
Imagine we lost the grand finals. What kind of story would that be?
Not gonna get it that time. It's a triple for double lift. He's looking for Bjergsen. Logic Gaming fighting every season since there has been one, and now your 2015 Summer Split champions.
this could send Cloud9 to Worlds, and it could end Team Liquid's season short.
Sneaky fighting Piglet, the shield is in! There! Holy moly!
Alright, I held my promise. I brought you to Worlds.
That's gonna be a trip to the World Championship for Cloud9!